It's just gonna be some Minion Rush gameplay. Well, yesterday, Illumination had a Super Bowl commercial. Minions making fun of AI. I also managed to get a shiny Suning Decidueye after 20 raids. Too bad Jeremy and Mel made it so hard to get. Early this morning, I watched Despicable Me 3, just so I can get a good idea on how to write Mel as a character. And like I said before, there's really nothing you can salvage about this character. The stage itself is set in Freedonia, which is the location that's in the movie. Mel's original appearance wasn't in Despicable Me 3. He was in the Illumination logo for Sing. So they basically introduced a new Minion character, and he never officially made his true role until Despicable Me 3. What does he do in the Illumination logo there? He uses a mallet to smash Stuart's goggles. So right off the bat, he basically makes himself unlikable from the start, when the movie starts. That's, not a great start. Illumination said they wanted to make a minion that would rebel against Gru. They didn't want to make a minion villain. But Mel is actually a villain. He not only rebels against Gru, someone he's worked for many years, but doesn't really care about the minions. Example, their journey. When the minions are tired and hungry, he doesn't care. She just keeps on walking. Stuart has to literally call him out. When Mel finally realizes that the minions are hungry, he makes them chase a guy that's on a motorcycle that has pizza boxes, thus making them trespass on private property. You got the police there chasing after Mel and all the other minions. Granted, he does make sure that every minion goes into the building, the one they're going to hide in. He leaves no minion behind. That then eventually leads to the Sing audition. And since he's the guy that's in charge, the minions have to push him forward to have him sing. He starts singing, and then he gets all the other minions to sing as well. I mean, it's good. I mean, I like Mel's singing voice, but Pierre Coffin, he, does a lot of songs sung by the minions. So, Mel having a good singing voice, singing Papa, Mama, Loquita, doesn't really make sense, considering that there are other Minion songs that were sung in Minionese, like Copacabana and Despicable Me 1. I Swear, YMCA, and Despicable Me 2. Make 'Em Laugh, Hair, Monkey's Theme. There's that Hawaiian song that the Minions performed at the Luau in Despicable Me 3. There's a lot of songs that these minions sing. So it doesn't make Mel different. Of course, the guards eventually catch up to them and have them arrested after their performance, and they get thrown in jail. Which they like. They're basically ruling the roost. Then Mel all of a sudden gets homesick after he sees like an image of Gru in the shape of bubbles. And he has flashbacks of all the things Gru's done for him. Example, when Mel scrapes his leg when he falls off a tricycle, Gru puts a bandage on it. When Mel flies a paper plane, it gets bent, and he starts crying. He alerts Gru about this, and so he gives him a wooden toy plane to play with. And then they go fishing, Mel loses his rod, he's distraught, but then Gru gives him his rod, and they sit next to each other. It's a nice scene. He even molds Gru in the form of mashed potatoes. So, at least the minions are being fed. It's prison food, but at least they're being fed. Yeah, Mel tells the minions that they gotta go back, and so they have to come up with a plan to escape. I feel that Mel is good at building stuff because he's able to construct a plane based on the model that Gru gave to him when his paper plane broke. You know, the toy plane? It looks like an exact replica, but larger. I'd say this is good because he's helping the minions to escape, but it's then followed by the scene where the minion's doing the takeoff, you know, with the lights and stuff, but he doesn't come back for that minion. He didn't even alert the minion to jump into the parachute with the others. What about the minions in the parachute at the bottom? Those are the coach minions. They're basically piled up upon one another. They're bored. Stuart's playing on the ukulele, trying to lighten the mood, but no, the minions are still kind of sad and stuff. Then you got the top minions on top. First class minions. I think those are minions that Mel favors. Cause one of them, there's like two in a spa. There's like one playing with lobsters. There's like, one's got an accordion. Like, they're having a blast up there, but the bottom ones are not. I feel that even though, I mean, maybe being on the bottom isn't such a bad idea, but to be fair, Mel would have given the minions at the bottom activities to do stuff, but no, they're just lying there singing sadly. I know it's supposed to be comedic. Oh, they're sad and stuff. Please. That doesn't even come close to the depression they felt when they couldn't find a boss in years in the Minions movie. You know, upon analyzing that, I realized that Mel doesn't really care for all minions, even if they all escaped jail with the exception of one. One was left behind. The ones at the bottom, it all makes sense. The first class minions aren't just minions because they're on top with Mel, they're his followers. He favors them over the others. That's why they got toilets as seats. That's why they got the hot tubs. That's why the ones playing the accordion. He favors those over the ones at the bottom. If he cared about the bottom ones, then he would have given them something to do. But no, he didn't. And so they're just left there being all bored singing a song while the others on top are having a blast. This then follows with Mel seeing Gru and follows him on the plane, and then they head to Hollywood and have to use sharp objects to pop the bubbles in Hollywood. Yeah, he takes good leadership skills when it comes to, like, the sharp objects. Granted, he does save the city. Yeah, I remember. I do like that he does use sharp objects and the other minions to, like, pop the bubbles in Hollywood, but I felt in terms of a climax, the climax of Minions is a lot more epic. I mean, would you rather have bubbles surrounding a city and you have to use sharp objects to pop them, well, dynamite, obviously, or would you rather prefer a kaiju-sized minion battling against Scarlet Overkill, saving his brothers and his minion tribe? I think which one is obvious is the 2015 Minions movie. And here's something I don't understand. Mel is reunited with Gru. Like, he's happy that he's back to be with him. And yeah, they're having a pillow fight scene at the end. So, riddle me this. If Mel is happy to be back with Gru, why would he leave him for Drew? I mean, sure enough, Drew tells him to follow him, but he could have said no. If he was truthful and wanting to leave jail just to be back with Gru, he would have said no. But no, he doesn't. Then you see the minions grabbing weapons and wearing, like, white uniforms. So Drew is now Mel's follower. It doesn't make sense. It's inconsistent. Mel leaves Gru so he can find someone to serve, or let alone find villainous things to do. And when he's in jail, he gets homesick and misses Gru. And even after he builds that plane and reunites with Gru, he leaves him again and goes with his brother Drew. And there's no indication of showing that he wanted to leave him to go with Drew. He just went up and followed him. You see why it's hard to really work with this character? He really doesn't have any positive things about him, like outside of Despicable Me. Fives really needed to have some more episodes, with the postcard being one of the few that is based on his social life and stuff. You know, like basically a High Five Ghost themed episode. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah. I mean, outside of Despicable Me, Mel cements himself as being a really good shiny charm in Pokemon Go and Pokemon Scarlet, and a underrated Hundo charm, only being beaten by Jeremy, because Jeremy was first. That's like a team effort. They got the Hundo Kyogre from Giovanni. Yeah, you remember when Kyogre was like in with Giovanni? We got good IVs on it, purified it, and it was a Hundo. And that was earlier this month when I got it. Seriously, guys, just because I started with Pokemon Sapphire doesn't mean I need the Hundo Whale. That's also led by the fact that I picked being on the Team Sapphire team for Hoenn last year, and it ended up getting a shiny Kyogre during livestream. I mean, I like Kyogre, I do, but I didn't ask for a Hundo purified Kyogre. I mean, sure enough, it's basically based on Kujira. Kujira's a regular show original dragon character I created that's loosely based off of Kyogre. It's just basically a whale dragon, but looks more like a whale, except a dragon. You look at Kyogre, he's just one big fish. Now back to what I was saying. Reason as to why it's hard for me to get back to Minions 1 and a Minion, which I'm later to change the title because I don't know whether or not to keep it the same anymore. Mel is going to be difficultly hard to work with. Because with Despicable Me 3, he doesn't leave a good impression. The third movie, obviously. I mean, yeah, he does sing the Illumination logo song with the other minions and sing too, and he's shown to be next to Otto, and Otto forms bunny ears on Stuart's head, which makes Mel laugh, so he's basically laughing with him, not at him. So are you telling me that Mel somehow had a change of heart off the screen or something like that? So the reason why I can't get back to writing that Minions fanfiction is because there's no reason to really do it because I hate Mel so much. here are a few options to what I can do to perfectly balance this out and maybe get more of it done. Examples include maybe watching more reruns of Despicable Me 3 since I do own it on DVD. Put it back in the PlayStation 2, watch it, analyze, see what I could have done better. Or talk to people that do like Mel as a character and Despicable Me 3. Because if I have that can give me much more ideas on what I can do, how I can perfect Mel as a character. There's like a lot of possibilities. What about Minion Rush? Mel is only good for Minion Rush for certain missions. This is also to show that he's going to be part of the Minions One in a Minion fanfiction. I have to still learn how to draw minions in my style, but still keep true to the Illumination style, which is not easy to do. Minions are so simple designs that they are incredibly hard to replicate. Like, I draw with my finger on iPad. I don't use a stylus. If this were Mordecai or Jeremy, it would be easy. But no, it's Minions. Updates I've added to Minions One in a Minion. The Minion chick is no longer going to be in the fanfiction. It's just going to be 3 minions that are separated from the main group. Kevin and Stuart are going to be there as well, as same with Josh, the minion that had stereo in Minions The Rise of Gru, and same with Bob's friend Chris. There are other minion characters that might be revealed, but I haven't really gotten that far yet. You see, theoretically, if I could find someone that likes Mel and they could convince me that there is something I could do to make this character likable, maybe my like for Mel wouldn't be so bad, obviously. Mel's kind of like MG Star 321's hatred of Bo' Rai Cho from Mortal Kombat. Both of us tend to have a character that we absolutely hate and rant on so much. Bo' Rai Cho's from Mortal Kombat and Mel is from Despicable Me 3. So it's like we both have something that we hate and we just like to vent our aggression and anger on said person. And this may sound weird, but I've said this before and maybe I have to probably reveal it. Is Mel an underrated ace as my shiny Reverum in Pokemon Scarlet? Yes, he is. When he uses Shift Gear, it boosts his speed and his attack. He also has Filter to reduce the effect of super effective moves. He also has Weakness Policy, so if he does get hit with a super effective move, it boosts his attack and special attack. Mel is a beast. And he's got the Cloud Watcher mark, and he's a bit quick-tempered. I don't know whether or not to catch another Shiny Reverum that's got a different personality because, I mean, quick-tempered? Mel? Look, I get he's a teenager, okay? Mel is like one of those angsty teens. He's not like Stuart. Mel is a different kind of breed of teenager. He's far more mature than his minion brethren. I mean, yeah, like Kevin, he does tend to have times where he has fun, like the food fight. But he doesn't really display that much mannerisms that a minion does have. He lacks it completely. Sometime after Despicable Me 2, they've been adding new minions to the roster of the Illumination Despicable Me movies. With Minions, you got Bob. With Despicable Me 3, you got Mel. And with Minions The Rise of Gru, you get Otto. So it's like 3 new Minions, basically the stars of their movies. And only one of them was able to have a short base on themselves. Bob with Santa's Little Helpers. Otto doesn't have a short, neither does Mel. Neither one of those minions have those, and they were stars in their own movies. I'd say Mel should have a short. Maybe like a heartwarming short. Maybe it could be as good as Midnight Mission. But I highly digress, because that short worked because Dave is really one of the best minions. He's like Illumination's most iconic minion character aside of Stuart. Dave is kind, he's nice. He's a good minion. Dave, Bob, and Otto are good minions. So is Kevin. Stuart is, well, rebellious, but he's still good too. The only bad minion you got, the only bad minion you got is Mel. Unless he is revealed in Despicable Me 4 and actually has a change of heart, he goes down in history as the absolute worst. I want to like Mel, but he doesn't have anything to really like him as a character. Even with Pokemon Scarlet as being a shiny Reverum, sometimes he does lose. And so King Bob, my shiny Bellybolt, is basically the last man standing. I want to like Mel. I really do. But he just hasn't left a good impression at all. Really, what he does is just... He makes me mad. It's kind of similar to Mordecai. The thing is with Mordecai, I used to like Mordecai when I was in middle school. He was my favorite character. But Mordecai has done things in regular show that I don't like. It's hard for me to really like him as a character. While he is one of my favorites, next to Rigby and Jeremy, he lost most of my respect because of certain episodes he's been in. Whether it be It's Time when Mordecai kills Rigby in jealousy, all because of his pity jealousy, he didn't want to admit he was jealous. Punching Rigby every time he talked in Jinx, thus having Rigby to unleash a Jinx monster. Doesn't apologize for this. Refusing to help Rigby change his name back in Trash Boat. Throwing Rigby under the bus in Wall Buddy. There's like a lot of examples. The notorious ones being cover for me while I'm with CJ and lift with your back, and then he has the goal saying, I didn't tell you to do any of that stuff. Yeah, you did. You did do that. I know Rigby changed Mordecai's acceptance letter to college university, but what Mordecai said absolutely hurt Rigby. And all that Rigby's been through in the movie, after he apologizes to Mordecai for what he's done, would a hug been nice, Mordecai? Your bro needs it after all he's been through. Good thing I included that in my alternative ending to regular show movie. I made it heartwarming and sweet. And to top it off, in Rigby's graduation day, he doesn't even feel happy that Rigby is graduating. He looks annoyed, mad and stuff. Granted, he does drive out of state or out of town to get coffee for Rigby, a beverage he likes. But then, what he says makes me mad. He's like, I'm just so used to being so much better than you. Granted, he does say that he is glad that Rigby made it this far and stuff, like yada yada yada, but still, what you said, dude? Break into Drew's lair 100 times? 100 times?! Well, a lot of your stages take place in Freedonia, so it's only a matter of time until I was able to, like, get a new record or something like that. Season 8 of Regular Show, they did redeem Mordecai as a character. I actually like him in Season 8. And he got his karma and more to be in Rigby. How's it feel to be in Rigby's shoes? Same can't be said for Mel, though. Mel hasn't done things as bad as Mordecai, but he's still a bad character. He's in desperate need of development. Personally, I just watched Despicable Me 3 and clips of it just so I can get a good idea on how I can write Mel as a character. Upon each rewatch, it gets worse every time I see Mel. I'm in desperate need to redeem this character. But how? Is there a way I can work with this character that doesn't make me aggravated? Because Despicable Me 3 and Merry Christmas Mordecai are triggers that set me off. Maybe add Mel to the roster. There's gotta be something. Any sort of media, any sort of Despicable Me media or short that has Mel in it that he's actually likable, and stay true to it. Hopefully. Because I'm still holding out hope that Mel will actually be in Despicable Me 4. Because why else would he be in Despicable Me 3? And people said that that Despicable Me 4 takes place after Despicable Me 3. Yeah, you got The Secret Life of Kyle, where there's only 2 minions. And they're like out in the sun, getting like a tan. Where are all the other minions? They're with Drew. Drew and Lucy are chasing him. That's why there's only 2 minions there. How you doing, Brian? It's just a Minion Rush run right now. I'm just talking about minions. I have to prepare myself to draw Mel later. What can I say about Despicable Me 3 that I haven't said before? Story is hard to follow, it's inconsistent sometimes, the animation is lazy, Mel is just so unlikable. I dubbed him a name. I call him Asshole Minion. Because everything he does, well, almost everything he does in Despicable Me 3 makes me hate him. Part of the reason is he doesn't feel like a Minion's character. He looks like a Minion, but he doesn't act like a Minion. Doesn't have the Minion mannerisms aside of the food fight. Minions are supposed to be mischievous. They're supposed to be funny. Some can display the kind of teenage nature. New movie Despicable Me 4. Yes, there's going to be a new movie. They have a trailer, they have a TV spot. The Super Bowl, they had a AI commercial. But Illumination actually, they put that on their YouTube channel before they even had it on the Super Bowl, and I'm like, they're making fun of AI because Chris Meledandri doesn't support AI. This shows that there can be creativity. Creativity isn't dead. Who are those 2 minions anyway? I think the one that's like mocking it could be Jorge, and the one that has like the tablet or something is Stuart. Good on you, Illumination. A lot of people are like surprised that out of all the companies, Illumination is the one that hates AI. Well, like I said, this is why they are the much better company. They are innovating, so that's good. I looked at what they plan to do in the future, and they got like a Secret Life of Pets 3 planned, and a Sing 3, and their original movie Big Tree that's coming out next year. I just hope that they at least do some marketing for the movie, because Migration didn't have really good marketing. They didn't have toys at Walmart or Target. I don't know Target because I didn't go to Target, but if Walmart doesn't have it, what makes you think Target does? Maybe Target exclusive? I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing for Migration outside of maybe merchandise at Universal Studios. I fear that Illumination, every time they do something original, is Chinese New Year on Saturday the last ending? I guess. This is a Chinese lunar event in Minion Rush right now. This year is Year of the Dragon. Leading up to the Chinese New Year, I drew like dragon characters. My original regular show dragon OCs. Some even got redesigned, like Shelby. Now she looks more like a dragon. I gotta find some really good songs to listen to if I want to perfect these minions. You want me to like Mel the way he is right now? Only like him in Minion Rush as my underrated ace in Pokemon Scarlet. He is a shiny charm, and he's also a hundo charm, with Jeremy doing most of the heavy lifting. Because you know Jeremy is king now when it comes to hundos. Just ask the hundo purified Kyogre he got from Giovanni. Mel was there too, but Jeremy was in the front. So whenever he's on front, he takes most of the credit. Mel gets like partially half the credit, but there were more images of Mel than there were of Jeremy. So basically, I'll just say they put their effort into it, okay? 50-50. So 50% Jeremy's luck, 50% Mel's luck. If I want to be generous and say that. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to utilize Mel to his full potential. It might take some time, a lot of rewatches of Despicable Me 3, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to actually redeem Mel and actually make him the most likable character, and possibly better than his role in Despicable Me 3. Also, I keep thinking that Illumination made Despicable Me 4 just as an apology for Despicable Me 3. I mean, dude, there are people that do like Despicable Me 3. The only things I like about Despicable Me 3 are Drew, Balthazar Brat, the music, the songs by Pharrell Williams, and Lucky, the goat that Agnes found in the Enchanted Forest. Hey, speaking of which, where was Lucky in the trailer for Despicable Me 4? Is he outside with Kyle? Dude, if they retcon Despicable Me 3 and they forget to bring Lucky, I know it belongs more in a short, but that was a really sweet scene. I mean, you want a unicorn, you get a goat. Also, keep in mind that Lucky had merchandise based on Despicable Me 3, so he's an Illumination character. Most of the marketing went into the minions being in jail, so they basically did a lot of merchandise for the jail time minions. Not only that, but Universal Studios had a walk-in Mel costume character that was wearing the jail uniform. So yeah, most of their marketing went into marketing the Minions being in jail. They even had a billboard where it showed the Minions in jail. And Mel's like right there just being despicable as ever. Almost all the time, Mel is shown, he's always shown to be like menacing looking and everything. He's not like Stuart. Stuart's more like annoyed, bored type of teenager. Then you got asshole here that just looks mean every time. I mean, look at the charms that I used for Shiny and Hundo. Mel's always shown to be like mad and stuff. Because the only person I can tolerate that I like when they're angry is Yamayugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! And Jeremy from Regular Show. When they're mad, I can understand why, but Mel, I don't understand why. He just looks more intimidating and mean and stuff. He's got the one eye and stuff. The way he goes down the slide with the cheese and everything. You're not convincing me to like this character, Illumination. What songs am I going to listen to while I'm drawing Mel later? Fancy by Drake. Memories of You by Something Special. Turn Up the Sunshine by Diana Ross and Tame Impala. And, some other songs on the playlist. Maybe songs by Pharrell Williams. Give credit to Despicable Me 3. At least they have good songs. The ones by Pharrell Williams. There's Something Special, Do It, Hug Me, and Yellow Light. I actually like those songs, and they're from Despicable Me 3. You know, I love that Mel is basically the star of the movie, and yet he's not in the music video for either There's Something Special or Yellow Light. It's just the other Minions. Maybe Carl or Dave. Yeah, you use Mel as like a selling point, but the only time you see Mel is in a Sky Broadband commercial in the United Kingdom when the family has internet issues, and so he has to power up some machine called an internet accelerator to have the Minions to run fast, to generate energy. He has them chase a banana, and that backfires completely because one actually is able to catch it, but then they get flung backwards on the treadmill. Mel had good intentions. But those freeze frames, whenever you stop or pause, he looks kind of scary looking a little bit. He's got that no nonsense attitude. He's not the one with nonsense. This eventually leads to what I'm going to talk about in Minions More and a Minion. So yeah, Mel has to go with the Minions on vacation because the family are also going on vacation and no one's going to watch the lab. Kevin is aware of this and he tells Bob to keep his distance away from Mel because he's the Minion you don't want to be around. I'm certain Kevin also is aware of Mel. And he doesn't want his baby brother to be near that rebellious teen. If Bob wants to be with one-eyed Minions, he needs to be with his best friend Chris and his teenage brother Stuart. Because at least with them, they treat him nicely. Granted, Stuart at first didn't care about the mission, didn't care about Bob, but the more time he spent with his brothers, the more time he learned how to have fun, be laid back, and shared a bond with him too. There are only like a couple scenes in the movie where it shows that Stuart and Bob are actually interacting and stuff. Like when they get separated from Kevin when they're running away from the villains. They do separate also, but that's because there was like a bomb. Or what about that scene where Bob sees a bee and starts trying to shoo away the bee, but he accidentally hits Bob's goggles and he starts crying. Stuart actually feels bad and says, scusa, scusa, which means sorry in Italian. That simple word in Italian might actually help me in the long run for that Minions fanfiction. Tell me again why people hate the Minions movie. It's not just utter nonsense and babbling and stuff. These are a trio of brothers that look out for one another to accomplish their mission and to save their Minion tribe. And when it backfires, you got Kevin being the hero, becoming a kaiju to save all of them from Scarlet's wrath. Yeah, he also gets knighted by Queen Elizabeth. He's like also known as Sir Kevin. You see how there are ways to actually make Minions likable? There's a way to make them likable and relatable. Take, for example, Otto from Minions Rise of Gru. He is a chatterbox that talks constantly, annoying other people, especially other Minions. That actually feels a bit too real, because in real life, that's basically me. You know, I'm a chatterbox. I talk a lot and annoy other people. Yeah, Otto's a very relatable Minion. He's a very relatable Minion. We make mistakes, and we make up for our mistakes. I know he trades the Zodiac Stone for a pet rock, but note that he pedaled all the way to the desert to get it back from the motorcycle guy, ends up befriending him, and when he goes to San Francisco, he gets it back to Gru, and when he's about to be torn apart by that clock tower, Otto is the one that comes to rescue him. Unties him, because Kevin, Stuart, and Bob are in their Zodiac forms fighting off the Vicious Six. It's hard to really defend Rise of Gru because I love the story and I love the animation, but there's just something about it that kind of separates it from the first Minions movie. The Minions are not used to their full potential. In the first Minions movie, after they accidentally kill their Yeti boss, they leave the cave and they go head to England, where their buddies are. And they're reunited. However, in Rise of Gru, the Minions are in the underground lair in Gru's house and helping to sell Tupperware. They're dressed up as ladies. And then there's a choir of Minions singing at Wild Knuckles' quote-unquote funeral. And they're with Gru to convince Dr. Nefario to join them in the post-credits scene. Mel was one of the Minions that was dressed up as a lady to sell Tupperware. Because I have a novel that says that it was Mel dressed up as a lady selling Tupperware. It's weird because Mel cross-dresses. It has a completely different design. He went from being a playful type of Minion that sold Tupperware to progressively becoming more villainous Minion when Despicable Me 3 rolled on. I feel that originally he wasn't always like that and developed villainous attributes in Despicable Me 3. Even before the movie starts, he was despicable. Can we have like a commercial with Mel at least that's not from Sky Broadband? Because I think that is his only commercial. Well, not advertised as a toy. Just look at the way it goes down. Just look at his eye. Look at that. Look at the eye. I don't like it. This is also primarily used as promotion for my Minions fanfiction. That's why I'm playing as Mel as well. Mel as well. Mel has cemented himself as one of the Illumination villains, right next to Vector, El Macho, Scarlet Overkill, and Balthazar Brand. Vector isn't more of a threat, he's more of like a comedic kind of guy. El Macho is more of a threat because he teams up with Gru's old partner, Dr. Nefario, to kidnap the minions and inject PX-41 serum into them, thus mutating them to become these monsters. Balthazar Brett is kind of sympathetic because he hit puberty and his show was cancelled. What he's doing is wrong, but I kind of feel bad for him. Same can't be said for Scarlet. Like, I do know she wanted a crown when she was a kid, but I mean, there's a reason why she used to be the greatest supervillain of all time. Also, I don't like the retcon in Rise of Gru where it shows Perkins at the Bank of Evil and shows a portrait of his son who looks young. Like, this is the 1970s. When does Despicable Me take place? And how young is Vector? How does he look young? I don't think the pyramid is the only thing he stole in Despicable Me. Maybe he stole the Fountain of Youth as well. Oh, I'm sorry, that was too good. Yeah, I feel like he also stole the Fountain of Youth because I don't think the pyramid's the only thing he stole. Then you got the Vicious Six, which I don't understand why they're called the Vicious Six because the founder, Wild Knuckles, isn't with them. You got Bell Bottom, Vengeance, Nunchuck, John Claude, and Stronghold. But you don't really utilize their personality, they're just basically gimmicks. Doesn't Wingman have like a interview with them and uses the power of flight? Maybe they could have utilized him for scouting missions or something, but no, he's just completely forgotten about. Like, you guys still need a sixth member. You're like the Vicious Five, not the Vicious Six. Why are you still called the Vicious Six when there's only 5 of you? Heck, even Scarlet had much more development. Yeah, Scarlet is like the only Despicable Me villain that had like a lot of screen time. And we knew where she was coming from. Same can't be said for all the others. I mean, Vector stole a pyramid, El Macho faked his death, Balthazar wants to get revenge on Hollywood, and the Vicious Six they're just a gimmick that want to take out the Anti-Villain League with the Zodiac Stone. Yeah, Scarlet's the most developed Despicable Me villain. I could be wrong, but in terms of the best Illumination villain that Despicable Me franchise has, that would be El Macho. Most developed villain character would definitely go to Scarlet Overkill, and she's from a Minions movie, which is still in the Despicable Me canon. So it's kind of hard to tell which one. I do think that Rise of Gru is my favorite movie of 2022, with the Super Mario Bros. Movie being my favorite movie of 2023. It's like Illumination kind of reigned supreme when it came to movies in those years. But even though I say Rise of Gru is my favorite movie of 2022, I don't think it's as good as the first Minions movie. If you guys know, Minions is my favorite Illumination movie of all time. It's not the first Despicable Me. Because I like the brother bond that Kevin, Stuart, and Bob have. There's no falling out scenes. None of that. It's just a wholesome, cute movie. What else could you ask for? If they do make more Minion shorts, have them be centered on the Minion brother trio. Like, have a heartwarming short or something like that. Because Midnight Mission felt like a Pixar short. It didn't feel like an Illumination short because it didn't have the signature Illumination humor. gotta do these sketches? Well, obviously I have to do it off the live stream because I'm terrible at drawing minions when I am doing live streams. Carnival Carl, Carnival Jerry. Can you please have auto in the game? It wouldn't hurt. Hey, Mel!
Okay.
And he's doing the raspberries from Despicable Me 3. Hey! Can I draw you wearing the I Love Gru cap? You actually look pretty good in it. Though it should say I Love Drew instead of I Love Gru because at the end of the movie... Okay, whatever. I'm going to work on the Mel drawing. Wish me luck.